Good morning. Happy Friday. Welcome back to the Daily Grind, everybody. I'm your host, Chum Change. This is live and recorded, and for anybody that might be new here, typically what we do is go over news together that I would normally do by myself. Figured I'd bring you guys along for the ride. So let's see who's in the chat, and then we will go from there. Mr. Dakota Miner, good to see you, man. I feel like I haven't seen you in a while. Leo Lustig, Nerd Beast, Dom G, Carl Coate. Let's see. Jin Georges, is that how you say that? I probably just butchered that name. I apologize. We have Lawnmower Man. What's up, man? Andrew Masad, good to see you. Shakester, Leo Lustig, my man. Actually, Leo Lustig, if you want to put your store in the chat, feel free. He has an Etsy store with some Bitcoin and like merch and like posters and stuff. It's pretty cool. He sent me a mouse pad. Thing's awesome. Let's see. Tim I Am Crypto, good to see you. Backwards Miner, good morning. Elliot, Steven Cicero, my man. What we typically do is troll Chump Change. That's what he's saying. Yes, he is a troll. Fight the troll. Good morning. Flip This Crypto, good to see you. All right, I need to sip my coffee. Let's get into this. What's the market looking like? 43,108 Bitcoin, Ethereum 2314. Those numbers look pretty good, right back to where we were before the ETF. Now I was watching or kind of catching a glimpse of a few videos that I haven't had a chance to watch fully through, so we're gonna watch those today. But you know how it's like that rumor, like do as we do, not as we say, or they want you to do as they say, not as they do type deal. Typically that's how whales work, right? They're gonna sit there and say they're bullish on stuff, and then they'll end up or the news will say, like, you know, everything's super bullish, and then you'll eventually see a pullback of some sort. So I'm curious to see what's going to happen with I guess the whole sentiment in the market. So we're gonna watch a couple videos today. We'll see what that's all about. Solana looks like it's at 101 bucks. ETC 2471. What is this X? I don't feel like I've seen that before. It's down 5%. ERC20. What is this? Why have I never seen X just as a logo? That's weird. That's weird. I feel like that's new. I don't know. Anyways, let me know if it is or it isn't. All right, nothing else really popping out at me. Let's get over to crypto bubbles on the day. We have IMX. Is this it? No, this is Immutable X. That's not the same thing. Not the same thing, is it? DJ Death Star, my man, appreciate you. He said thanks for the quick and dirty on the 4070. Next time, could you do both Hive and Windows? Put the hash rate on the summary screen. Appreciate the content. You know what? That's a good idea. And that could have probably stretched that video a little bit longer, probably closer to 5 minutes, but I did just drop a 4070 super video, like a hash rate overclocks. If you guys are interested, go check it out. It was like 3 minutes long. I just did it short, sweet, to the point. That way you guys could just copy it and go from there. All right, let's see. Pyth looks like it's up 14.8% today. The Pyth network. Again, this is the top 100 coins. We could always go to the top 200 to see what the hell is this. What is Zeta? 84.8% Zeta chain. Does anybody know what this is? Anybody into this? Let me know in the chat. Ranked 137. Interesting. Sometimes I like to pop into the top 200 coins. You know what? I saw a video on this. Pepe Fork. It's called Pork. That's the coin. The ticker anyways. Pork. Has anybody bought this? Anybody purchased this? I don't even know where you can get it, but I saw a video on this yesterday actually, and I was wondering if it was actually going to pop off or not. And that's kind of funny to see it all the way up here. That's nuts. That is nuts. 287 million market cap. Wow. I don't know. That's crazy. Anyways, nothing else really pops out at me. Everything's just kind of whatever. API 3 is up 14.7%, $3.15. Again, top 200 coins. It's actually 101 to 200. Go back to the top 100. Pendle, whatever this is up $2.87 to $2.87 rather. Ranked 95th. Yeah. All right. Fear and Greed Index looks like we're at a 63 on the greed chart. Again, I don't really worry about it until it's about over 75 or below 25. That's really where I start paying attention to that. All right, top 10 coins by coin market cap over on CoinGecko. As always, you have Bitcoin, Ethereum, Tether, BNB, Solana, XRP, USDC, Lido Staked Ether, Cardano, and Avalanche still holding 10th spot, and it's holding it well above Doge at this point. I think it's going to stay there. Pretty awesome. We have Litecoin in 20th place, Internet Computer in 18th, Shiba in 19th. We have, let's see, Uniswap's in 23rd. Is anybody into Uniswap? I feel like I should buy some of that for some reason. I've always debated it, but I just never have. We have 25th for Ethereum Classic. Looks like let's see, Monero was in 29th. Monero, I've been thinking about grabbing a bag of that as well, but I'm not really sure. Then we have 41st for Kaspa and Hedera H-bar. Actually, I've been hearing a little bit about this. It's in 40th. I'm not sure if this is a good buy either. Let me know what you guys think about that. Let's see. Leo Lustig, what are you saying right now? What are you saying right now? Crypto KJ said, tell the people why it was a short and sweet. What do you mean? I don't understand what you're saying, sir. DJ Mines, what's up, man? Good to see you. Appreciate you, buddy. All right, let's get on to the ASIC miners. As you guys know, I like to timestamp these units, see where we were, you know, the last I don't know, in the bear run versus the bull run, and we'll kind of just come back and check these things in about a year, right? So we're looking at the WinMiner K9 over on Mine the ASIC, 10.3 terahashes. Looks like it's making $68.56 a day. We have the KS3 from Ice River, 8 terahash unit, making $51.72 a day. We have the KS3M, 6 terahash unit, making $36.39 a day. Again, this is at 10 cents per kilowatt hour. I'm gonna be honest, I don't think you guys should be purchasing these units. That's just my opinion, my personal opinion. You guys do what you want, you know, it's your money. You guys are all big boys, big girls at the end of the day. The Jazz Miner X16P, I just shipped this out to Mr. Max Voltage yesterday. This is making $16.43 per day, mining ETC and ZIL. He's going to be doing a review on that. And you know what, actually HiveOS reached out to me and asked if they could get into this unit, and unfortunately I don't have it anymore, so I can't get it to them to allow them to add it to the ASIC hub. So I'm hoping I can hook them up with Mr. Max Voltage. If he listens to this later on, Max, hit me up because I sent you a DM. We have the KS2 2 terahash unit, $11.97 per day. The Superscaler K10, which was kind of surprised to me yesterday. I noticed that Carlson, they have a bit stream for Carlson now on this, $9.45 per day. Again, this is a FPGA, if anybody doesn't know. We have the X16Q. Shout out to Jingle Mining for sending this to me. We have, and this is the 2 gigahash, more or less, 1950. I get about 2 gigahash on mine. It's $5.57 a day. Not too bad, not too bad. Let's see what else we got. I have the Antminer L7 running down at Terra Hosting. If you guys are interested in hosting, links are in the description. They also have a ASIC sales site, which is this one right here, Terra Hashes. If you guys are interested in purchasing anything on that site, actually, which is awesome. Not trying to shill them, but it's all priced to the door, so you're not gonna get hit with tariffs and shit, which is crazy. But yeah, anyways, my 9050 is making $4.04 per day, mostly merge mining Dogecoin, and then you get a little bit of Litecoin at the end. So yeah, it's really not much of a yield for Litecoin. Dogecoin's really the big earner there. My S19K Pro, you know, it's funny, they have like hundreds of these units, and mine is one of the 2 that the control board absolutely just took a ish, which sucks. So I'm waiting for a new control board, but shout out to them for giving me a loaner. If your ASICs go down when you're hosting with Terra, typically they'll try to give you a loaner of some sort. So I do have a loaner running on my account, which is nice. I appreciate that. It's making $3, or projected to make $3.16 per day. The S19K, again, 120 terahash unit. The Ice River KS0 Pros, 200 gigahashes, making $1.24 per day, which is at the end of the day, it's 100 watts. Can't really complain. The original KS0, actually, my man Crypto 440 is actually soldering a 6-pin, a true 6-pin, unlike the veteran miner with his 2-pin in the 6-pin. We're getting the 6-pin on this thing, so we're gonna see how it comes out with that instead of the barrel jack. So he's in there ripping that thing apart, but it's making 59 cents a day. This thing's really taking a shit. Anyways, all right, let's check out GPUs now. Let's see what we're looking at. Looks like 4090s, Lithium's on the top of the charts there. We have Cortex here for the 4080s. Looks like Pyron on the 4070 Ti, and Nexa, Lithium and Nexa on the Ti Super. We have, you know what, I want to test this too. My man Crypto 440 said I might be able to test his out once he gets it set up. So hopefully I'll be able to do that, and I'll do another video for you guys. Max Voltage, read our DMs, please, sir. Thanks for being here, buddy. Appreciate you. All right, we got the 3090 Ti, Lithium and Neoxa. Neoxa's on the top of the chart. Look at that. You know what? Shout out to Neoxa, by the way, because they actually have, what's it called, Pal World. They got a server for Pal World going, and they're going to be making it play to earn at some point. I don't know how soon, but it's going to be amazing. That game's super fun, and it's like one of the highest sales on Steam ever, which is amazing. Anyways, all right, I don't really see anything else sticking out at me too much. Just Xano, BTG. There's really a mix of coins on here, but it looks like Lithium is mostly top of the charts. All right, let's get into this. News of the day: Crypto World, CNBC Television. Guys, that like button, appreciate you for hanging out. We have Celsius exits bankruptcy, starts returning more than $3 billion to creditors. That's crazy. Let's see what they got to see over here. I didn't have a chance to watch this, so Let's do it.
Today, Bitcoin and Ether.
Hold on. Joker Miner just said he's turning 40 on Sunday.
Bruh.
Happy birthday, buddy. I'm just kidding.
Fall after the Fed pushes back on the idea that interest rate cuts are coming quickly. Celsius exits bankruptcy and begins paying more than $3 billion to creditors. And Corey Clipston of Bitcoin-focused exchange Swan discusses the company's decision to launch its own mining business.
Ooh, let's see what this is about.
Welcome to CNBC's Crypto World. I'm Mackenzie Sigalos. Cryptocurrencies in the red again this morning after the Fed announced yesterday that it plans to keep rates steady and push back against Wall Street's expectations that it would start cutting rates as soon as March. By noon Eastern, Bitcoin fell less than 2% to the $42,000 level. Ether dipped below $2,300, and Cardano fell nearly 4%. Okay, let's talk about the top stories. Crypto lender Celsius has successfully emerged from bankruptcy. In a press release on Wednesday, the company said it had started distributing more than $3 billion in liquid crypto and fiat currencies to creditors. It's also created a new Bitcoin mining company called Ionic Digital, which will be owned by Celsius creditors. The company also said it expects Ionic to become a publicly traded company. Now, Celsius was one of the crypto businesses to go under following the collapse of Three Arrows Capital in May of 2022. Its founder and former CEO, Alex Mashinsky, still faces several federal charges, including securities fraud and wire fraud.
Bruh.
Next, nearly 4 months after the October 7th Hamas attack on Israel, Binance and its founder, Changpeng Zhao, have been sued by hostages and victims' families. The lawsuit is over the crypto exchange's alleged role in processing transactions tied to the group, which has been designated a terrorist organization by the U.S. government.
Bruh.
Some of the plaintiffs include 2 U.S. hostages released by Hamas in late October, as well as the family members of a 20-year-old New Jersey native who was serving in the Israeli army and was killed on base when it was attacked in early October. The complaint, which was filed yesterday in the Southern District of New York, accuses Binance of facilitating the financing of Hamas and providing a clandestine financing tool that the exchange deliberately hid from U.S. regulators. A few days after the October 7th attack, the Wall Street Journal, citing a review of Israeli government seizure orders and blockchain data, reported that Hamas militants behind that ambush raised millions in crypto. We reached out to Binance but didn't hear back right away. Finally, crypto miners in the US are about to start reporting their electricity usage to the Department of Energy.
Bruh.
The U.S. Energy Information Administration put out a press release on Wednesday announcing a provisional survey on electricity consumption by crypto mining companies. The survey is expected to start next week, and the agency's administrator says the EIA intends to focus on how the energy demand for cryptocurrency mining is evolving, identify geographic areas of high growth, and quantify the sources of electricity used to meet cryptocurrency mining demand. Crypto miners have faced growing scrutiny in recent years over their energy use, tax breaks, and electricity buybacks during times of high demand. We reached out to the Blockchain Association about the survey, but they declined to comment.
Yeah, you know what? That just means the big facilities are going to be absolutely just shafted with taxes and bullshit. But wasn't there like a study stating that cryptocurrency like farms actually don't use as much electricity as they thought, or like as like, you know, electric vehicles or air conditioners for that matter, just in general? I'm pretty sure there was some sort of thing about that.
All right, let's stick with Bitcoin mining for our main story. Last week, Bitcoin-focused exchange Swan unveiled its new mining unit. The company announced that it had quietly begun operations back in September of last year and had mined over 750 Bitcoin at the time of the announcement. For our main story, Crypto World's Tanea McKeel caught up with Corey Clipston, the CEO of Swan Bitcoin, so he could walk her through the company's decision to break into mining.
Interesting. We're actually going to hear from Corey Clipston a little bit more after this. Yeah, let me see real quick. Rutro, here comes the taxes for X amount of usage. They're going to tell us how to use our power now. Enjoy the free world. Yeah, Douglas, exactly. It's absolutely absurd, right? Like my electric rate around here, I'm in Massachusetts, if anybody doesn't know. This place sucks for electricity, okay? It is, I am up to about 30 cents now per kilowatt hour, almost. I think it's like 28, if I'm not mistaken. It's about 28. So running anything here is terrible. You guys want to tax me more than that? You give me a supply charge. So what is a supply charge anyways? Like, how hard is that? Like, you charge me for the electricity and then you charge me to get it to my house? Because I'm pretty sure when I built this house, I had to pay for the line coming from the pole to my house. So I'm lost at that whole thing. It's kind of ridiculous, but whatever.
I want to get right into it, talking about mining, which is kind of a hot topic over here ahead of the halving. So your mining business recently came out of stealth mode. Tell me a little bit about that, and particularly about the timing. Why are you doing this right now?
Yeah, great to see you tonight. Thanks for having me on again. And yeah, it is at the tip of everyone's tongues. And you just gave me a great visual of you guys over at CNBC at the water cooler, just kind of like hanging out, talking about hash rate. I hope that's true and actually happens. That makes me smile. Yeah, so this was interestingly organic that we got into the mining space. It sprung out of the launch and the growth of Swan Institutional, which was over a year ago that we started that unit. We actually didn't announce it until December, and there was kind of a lot going on and new products that we wanted to sell to the market. But having people with the Wall Street background, the hedge fund background, that know how to structure deals, starting to develop great relationships with lawyers, with all the bankers on Wall Street that cover the space, talking to all the analysts. And then this started to kind of spiral into more and more activity and more connections as we added a mining industry day to Pacific Bitcoin and started to talk to all the miners about sponsoring and coming and attending. And we had all the CEOs out in Los Angeles this fall. And essentially, we spotted an opportunity to get into the market when a lot of the public and large private miners were sort of encumbered, whether by large debt or by having purchased lots of ASICs at higher prices. And so there was just a lot of inventory available that could be snapped up relatively cheaply. And there was a lot of opportunity to work with really good operators that had excess capacity and really low priced PPAs. And this was true both in the USA and internationally. And so we just started banging phones and seeing who was out there that could fund some of the opportunities that we saw. And we saw that we were pretty much the only people calling on anyone as well. Being able to come in and have our brand trust, and then being willing to do the work, I think was a big part of this. And then, so it was kind of the financing effort and opportunity and cap raise that opened up opportunities to partner with folks and to be able to put rigs that we were purchasing in next to theirs. So that's kind of the phase one for Swan Mining. And then, of course, we are in the process of building our own infrastructure at a few different sites and partnering with folks on new build outs, but those are much more long dated. So this, we're at about 4.8, 4.9 today of exahash that's actually live and hashing, and that will go to about 8.4 with rigs that we've already purchased, and those should all be plugged in by March. But pretty much after that, we'll be looking at plugging into sites that we actually control the infrastructure.
So are they an exchange? Is that what they were prior or something? Andrew Masad said, I used Swan to buy some more BTC, then promptly got the hell out of there. I've never used them, so I don't know. What are they, just like a similar to Coinbase type deal? Let me know.
How are you thinking about competition in the months ahead when this halving event takes place? The miner revenue does get cut in half. For some miners, it's not their only revenue, but that would cause...
Oh, it's Bitcoin only. That's interesting. Well, it makes sense. Swan Bitcoin's the name, so yeah. Okay.
Some miners out there to have to come offline, and for some miners to go a little bit further than that, it might be a complete failure. There could be M&A on the horizon. So it is a really interesting time for you to get into this business. And, post the ETF approvals and launch, I think a lot of people, while some were anticipating that Sell the News event, others were really hoping for a rally to see the price go to 55K because that could have helped a lot of the miners. So it did not get to 55K, obviously, but, what does this mean for Swan and for competition, and how are you avoiding that fate?
Yeah, so two things. One, we're feeling very acquisitive of potentially companies, certainly sites, talent. So if anybody is under the gun and it looks like they're not going to make it. And this would probably be maybe the smaller players, then we would be looking to help in that way. And then for the larger players that probably are going to make it, but maybe getting buffeted around by the bad news or fear of the halving or having some debt overhang or something like that, then we want to be partnering with them on the Swan institutional side and helping to unlock value by finding financing and creative structures. And
was he saying like the small guys that are going to have issues, like mining facilities, is he talking about? If that's, he said that really nicely, but I think he means we're just going to buy you out. I think that's what he meant, and it was very nicely said.
So that's pretty much the way that we're approaching it. Kind of help the larger guys and help the smaller guys maybe by acquiring some part or entire businesses in some cases.
Where are your sites located and how many do you have?
He kind of summed it up there.
Yeah. So are we public with this? I think we're public that we have 7 sites today. So hopefully we are already public with that anyway. We are now. And that'll be going to 10 by March. Our long-term goal is to be about evenly distributed 50-50 on hash rate, US versus international. We're a little bit more weighted in the US today, and a lot of the stuff that we have coming on later this year is outside the USA.
I don't think this is a paid interview. It might be. I don't know how that works, to be honest, with like news channels. I mean, these guys, honestly, CNBC television, like Crypto World, they actually reach out to a bunch of people, I'm sure, every single day and have like a total lineup.
What are some of the biggest challenges that you're thinking about for 2024?
Ooh, I feels like a lot of tailwinds, to be honest. I think the ETFs have completely changed the conversation. I've been talking a lot about this publicly and tweeting about it and posting about it. But, the last 6 years, 2017 to 23, the top of funnel for Bitcoin was altcoins that tell misleading statements, if not outright fraudulent lies about Bitcoin to try to sell their shiny altcoin. And that top of funnel got completely replaced a couple of weeks ago. And
that does happen a lot. They use the word Bitcoin in like white papers and all that stuff just to kind of get a push behind it, or they'll name their coin like something to do with Bitcoin, or like, a spin-off or whatever. I don't know. It's just like Bitcoin Gold or, something like that. Mr. DJ Mines, we'll be talking about Depin in a little bit. Depin projects, what is it? Decentralized physical infrastructure networks. They are going to be the future of this run anyways, kind of like NFTs were last run, but in a way different way.
The new top of funnel is the Bitcoin ETFs. And, that is a packaged up Bitcoin, and it's a paper Bitcoin, and it charges fees every year instead of once, et cetera, et cetera. But they're talking about Bitcoin, and they're selling Bitcoin generally using a pretty accurate narrative about Bitcoin as a store of value. And, maybe they're not capturing the other 80% of what Bitcoin is, but that's where you would start if you were just trying to sell the real thing. So, I welcome our frenemies and their ad budgets, and we're obviously collaborating with these folks on some media and events and things like that. And, I think it was always inevitable that institutions would get involved in Bitcoin in a massive way. And it was just a matter of when. And I'm glad it's here, and it's been great for all Bitcoin businesses to benefit from the increased promotion of Bitcoin every single day on every single channel. And there is this big, what I've been calling the ETF multiplier effect, where I actually think that because of the ETFs existing and that stamp of approval from the big financial firms, there's actually, if you think about the amount of money that will actually flow in just into the ETFs, another 5 to 10x of that will flow into Bitcoin through other channels because of the existence of the ETFs, because it's no longer scary to anyone to be involved in this space.
Okay, that's all for...
All right, shout out to CNBC television for that. All right, let's get into videos of the day. So this is a Cointelegraph interview with the same guy, Corey Clipson, that you guys just seen. He's going to get into talking about ETFs and all things like that. So if you guys wouldn't mind, please hit that like button. I hate asking, but YouTube makes me. Let's do it. And this guy's accent's a little, he's in the EU or something, so it's a little rough. But
interview that I saw from last year, you were recommending people not to trade the spot Bitcoin ETF approval because of a possibility of correction, and that's what actually happened. So you were predicting that Bitcoin would retrace by about 30-40%. How much further do you think it will correct from the point we are now?
The only signal that I'm seeing right now that matters is the flows into the non-GBTC ETFs. So the new ETF vehicles that didn't exist. GBTC has had absolutely massive selling because there are a bunch of these bankruptcy estates that are selling GBTC now that the discount to net asset value has closed to near zero. There's just a ton of selling going on out of GBTC. We all learned that the FTX bankruptcy sold $1 billion worth of GBTC over a few days, for instance. So I think it's just kind of inevitable that that was going to happen. I actually think that the amount that it's fallen is amazingly small given the amount of selling that's been going on. And I think that is a credit to not just the flows going into the new ETFs, but what I've been talking about is an ETF multiplier effect. And basically this is because of the existence of the ETFs and the credibility of these large financial firms getting into the space and validating it in the eyes of investors that haven't played the game previously, a lot more Bitcoin will be purchased through all of the other sellers around the world, whether it's Swan, whether it's Coinbase, whether it's Relay over in Europe or OTC desks, or even private funds from Morgan Stanley and Goldman Sachs. So there's a lot more Bitcoin flows or money flowing into Bitcoin incremental to what otherwise would have because of the existence of the ETFs.
Real quick. So GBTC is Grayscale's spot Bitcoin ETF, right? It's or it was I think they kept the ticker the same, but it's just the conversion of their futures, whatever ETF they had, into the spot. So yeah.
So it's their marketing and their stamp of approval that frankly is much more important than, and frankly, a lot larger magnitude of flow into Bitcoin than just what's flowing into the ETFs.
It was futures and it got transitioned into spot. Perfect.
People are saying that this event, the approval of the spot Bitcoin ETF, is creating even more distance from Bitcoin and the rest of cryptocurrencies. Can you give us your view on the impact that this is going to have on the relationship between Bitcoin and the rest of crypto?
Wow, it's so funny. I have a very fresh example of this that happened about an hour ago. I'm actually squatting in an old office of mine. I've just got caught on this side of town, which is why I have the fancy conference room background here. Anyway, I'm friends with one of the desk guys here from having spent time here, and we were in the coffee room, and he struck up a conversation with another gentleman that was there who ended up at, I didn't know, but he's the CEO of a fairly large insurance company. And they started talking about Bitcoin ETFs, and I got to hear this guy's reaction because the desk guy knows me and knows about Bitcoin from me and just being interested after knowing us for a few years. So he was making the pitch and the guy was like fully on board. And his take basically was he's more comfortable with it now that so much of the fraud has been washed out of the crypto space. So he knew about FTX and he knew about Binance. And he basically just didn't trust, because Bitcoin was so closely linked with all these C5 frauds and all the crypto frauds and pump and dump schemes. It was really hard to separate Bitcoin from non-Bitcoin crypto and from just kind of like crypto scammers generally. And now it's really obvious that there's something there and he's starting to look at it. He doesn't own any personally. But then when Jeremiah, the desk guy, said, by the way, Corey runs a big Bitcoin company, we were right into a conversation about how it fits into insurance company portfolios. I started talking about how I know the CIO at Mass Mutual and they did $100 million buy and they love it because it's non-correlated and because it matches with, extreme tail risks that may happen. And it's the kind of asset that can go up a lot over time. And it actually, so dramatically improves the Sharpe ratio of an insurance company portfolio. So yeah, right into a conversation like that. Totally impossible. I guarantee you impossible 3 months ago.
On the other hand, we have a lot of rumors, a lot of talking about the possibility of an imminent spot Ethereum ETF being approved as well in the US. We saw that BlackRock filed an application for it, and Bloomberg analyst, I believe Eric Balchunas, not long ago said that there is a 70% chance that a spot Ethereum ETF will be approved this year. If that happens, it means that Ethereum will also...
I'm pretty sure it was already delayed, was it not?
...have the same status of Bitcoin in terms of institutional acknowledgement. Don't you think so?
That's always been the play, right? And the Ethereum Foundation and Lubin and Consensus have spent billions of dollars to try to make that a reality and try to confuse regulators to thinking that this was somehow somewhat like Bitcoin. And they may pull it off. I mean, the Church of Scientology didn't used to be a church, and they ran a massive letter writing campaign and choked the courts, and they get to have tax-free real estate all over Los Angeles. So
he just shit on Ethereum so hard. And if you guys don't, all you Ethereum haters in the chat, if you guys don't love this guy now, I don't know what else to tell you. That was, you just equated Vitalik Buterin and Ethereum to Scientology.
It's not like things always work out as they're supposed to. A lot of times concentrated interests can influence policy. This is why we have a crappy food pyramid stuffed with snacks from General Mills and Kellogg's, right? So I suspect that, you know, there's a pretty good likelihood that Ethereum gets away with it.
That's great.
As a team and as a tech company with their sort of pseudo company stock that they have massive influence over and massive piles of, and continue to rake the rewards of through staking. So they'll probably get away with it. I just don't think it'll matter though, because people who actually look into the stuff, the deeper you go into it, the less you understand Bitcoin, the less you understand Ethereum as being money of any kind. I think that meme is obviously pretty freaking dead. And we have proof points of this, right? Like
that was a good point that he brought up about the food pyramid. It is such a friggin' scam. 100%.
A lot of crypto industry requests, bullshit. For instance, for BlockFi to add Ethereum and altcoins to the card rewards at BlockFi. And they argued and said all these people wanted Ethereum rewards. They don't. They actually don't. They want to use it to launch grifty scams and pump and dumps and, you know, to trade basically. And the only people that really hold Ethereum for the long term are pretty much the insiders, because they're just getting the staking income. And so after a year of marketing Ethereum and 6 or 7 other cryptos versus Bitcoin, it only amounted to 3% of rewards. 97% of the rewards were still taken in Bitcoin, because Bitcoin is something that people actually want to hold. And that won't ever change regardless of whether there's an Ethereum ETF. It'll just trade like a tech stock, basically, at best.
You said that...
That's a good point. Ethereum will just trade like a tech stock at best. That makes way more sense, for sure.
In this specific market cycle, Bitcoin is likely to break the pattern of diminishing returns that we have been seeing throughout the latest few cycles. So why exactly do you think that this pattern will be broken this time?
Yeah, he's 100% right.
Yeah, so I think it's inevitable, and I apologize if I did this math live last time. I can't remember if I did, but the trough to peak up to the top of 2013 was $2 to 1,100. So it was 550x. The trough to peak up to 2017 was $180 up to 19,700, which interestingly was exactly 20% of that. It was 110x. So from 550x to 110x. Amazingly, it continued to be geometric into 2021. So trough to peak in 2021 was from 3,150 to 6,800 or 69,000 or whatever it was, literally 22x. Another 80% reduction in the rise. So from 550 to 110 to 22. When I say that we're going to break that cycle of sort of these geometric returns, it's because from the bottom of around 16K, if you went to 4.4, that would only be 70K. And I obviously don't expect 70K to be the high of this next bull run. I think it'll be significantly higher than that. So I think that cycle of sort of geometrically diminishing returns is going to break, this year or next year for sure.
Thanks a lot, Corey, for coming on our show. It's always a pleasure.
That's awesome. Shout out to these guys for doing this interview. This guy, Corey, is definitely a Bitcoin maxi, but he said a lot of things that were pretty on point with Ethereum. I didn't think of it like that. Like, it'll just trade like a tech stock. But when he compared it to Scientology, that was kind of that was funny as hell. Anyways, all right, let's get into this. So this, I don't know. I'm going to be honest. I don't know if it's a shill at all. Okay, I haven't had a chance to watch it fully, but this is about Depin, and Altcoin Daily put the video out, so I kind of want to see what he talks about with it. Again, decentralized physical infrastructure networks. They are kind of like Hivemapper and Honey, where they use like an AI dash cam to take pictures and map the area, kind of like Google does, right, with their cars. Instead of putting $500,000 into a car, you put a $500 little dash cam or $300 little dash cam or whatever it is in your car, and it does the same exact thing, but with a bunch of different companies. But yeah, so let's just see if he does any ads here, then I'll skip it. But guys, that like button, appreciate you for hanging out. Let's do it.
Peak is a layer 1 for Depin. Depin stands for Decentralized Physical Infrastructure Networks. Remember the term, because it's the next big thing in Web3.
So I've never heard of this Peak. I don't know what that coin is.
Depins are an emerging trend in crypto.
Depins are physical infrastructure networks. You can think of charging stations or 5G hotspots, which communities crowdsource together and then provide connectivity.
And this trend may just be about to disrupt the centralized giants that control us.
And instead of big corporates earning all that money and generating all that value, the community who builds that infrastructure earns and owns the infrastructure.
So plain and simple, Depins distribute the power in physical infrastructure services, meaning they allow the people to be in control instead of a few centralized companies. Now Peak is a layer 1 blockchain for Depins, meaning Peak is specifically catering to decentralized physical infrastructure networks.
All right, I have to look real quick. PEAQ, is that what it is? Let me see. What's that coin at? PEAQ. Nope, that didn't work, did it? Is it not a coin? What is it? All right, let's see. I guess we'll just continue and see what he says.
See the ecosystem evolving, and as a partner of the channel, as a blockchain.
Oh, okay. Partner of the channel. He just said it. So it is kind of a shill, but at the same time, like the Depin information is the point here. Not really that they paid him to talk about this specific project, right?
Processes over 10,000 transactions per second at remarkably low costs. And with partners, name brands that you'd recognize that are already building on Peak. Let me just share with you one last example.
Did you guys see Bosch? Bosch is a big so like as a plumber, they make like I used to put in appliances, like Bosch appliances. I actually have them in my house. They're very, very good company, but they're huge into like tech stuff.
Already building on Peak. Let me just share with you one last example. Let's take Uber, where the founder of Peak explains how Peak is about to disrupt everything.
Let's take Uber as an example. You want a taxi. You unlock the phone, you tap the app, you order the taxi, you hop in. You think you're using a peer-to-peer system. You to taxi driver. You're not. You're actually using a peer-to-big tech to peer system. And we think it's time to change that.
That's true. That's true.
Because the peer-to-peer era is now. The process won't change. You still unlock your phone, tap the app, order the taxi, hop in. But the app, which network it runs on, and where it is hosted will change. From centralized, corporate-controlled, peer-to-big tech to peer, to decentralized, community-owned, peer-to-peer.
And with Peak,
so you'd be what, paying like, you know, from your wallet to their wallet versus your wallet to Uber's wallet to their wallet? Is that kind of what he's getting at, I think?
Being the world's fastest
yeah.
growing Depin ecosystem with over 100,000 machines.
That would actually be way better. That would be way better and way more like lucrative for people, for sure.
Robots, devices on the network, over $25 million of tokenized machine RWAs, and 20 plus Depins building on Peak and growing.
Peak is a community-governed network.
Oh, Peak is the ecosystem.
Where the community comes to build community-owned applications for community-owned machines to create community value.
This is the reason we're seeing so many name brand companies start to build. For example,
Bosch is huge.
One of the global leaders in hardware, manufacturing, technology.
Yeah, so our work with Bosch is actually a couple of years old already. We've been working on different projects, setting standards in the mobility industry for identities, data sharing, and so on. But recently, we were able to excite them for Depin as well, because Bosch is the biggest sensor manufacturer in the world. And we're all in Depin, right? We know sensors are super important. I mean, they're also the biggest automotive supplier. So they're a super amazing player to get into Depin. And on top of that, they are super open to Web3. So they want to build new business models in Web3. And yeah, we had the first device. It's called the Bosch XDK. It has dozens of sensors in it. So you can connect it technically to all kinds of Depins, and then it can generate data and earn money in different Depins.
And we're still early. Depin as a trend is only growing bigger.
Depins are estimated to be a total of 3.5 trillion by 2028 alone. That's a massive market opportunity.
And let's talk about what differentiates Peak as an L1 Depin blockchain. Highly decentralized, in fact, has a Nakamoto coefficient of 93, the highest among the major Layer 0 and Layer 1 blockchains. Extremely scalable. Peak will scale past 100,000 transactions per second in 2024 by leveraging elastic scaling. Environmentally friendly, pretty self-explanatory, and also Depin and RWA functions, meaning Peak provides ready-to-use functions to power and tokenize vehicles, robots, and devices.
Real quick, Crypto KJ in the chat actually just gave us some information. So he said, Peak token is not in circulation yet. Peak's total supply is set at 4,200,000,000. Further details to do with tokenomics will be released ahead of Peak's token launch. Interesting. So they don't have like a pre-mine or whatever they would call it, ICO, right? Is that what they'd call it? Initial coin offering, if anybody doesn't know what ICO stands for. Yeah, that's neat. I'm gonna look into that actually.
Cool thing is we've been building a layer 1 for Depin long before Depin was a term. So it goes back to our old enterprise cases where we identified, okay, all those applications need identities for machines, role-based access control, data storage, payment, settlement. So we've been building all those backend functionalities all along that are running as smart contracts or so-called pellets natively on the network. So builders can come and simply consume those functionalities, and they don't have to do a lot of the heavy backend work. We've also made a simple JavaScript SDK that makes it super easy, because we realized a lot of Depins don't have the smart contract blockchain devs on board. So we make it super easy. It's like, hey, the blockchain layer is ready for you to use. All the functionality is there, ready to use. And that makes it super simple. On top of that, we support EVM and Rust smart contracts. So we offer multiple smart contract ways. That is also super cool, because EVM is the default standard, right? And that makes it easy for people to build. Super high scalability, extremely low fees, as low as Solana has to be. Otherwise, that is a knockout criteria. So, and yeah, like now the next step is, after launching mainnet, of course, attracting a lot of liquidity. We are working on that. We have a strategy, and yeah, our aim is really to provide just the best possible L1 for Depin builders. And on top of that, we build alongside the Depins. Like, we work very close with all the teams. We get their requirements. We support them. We build with them. And I think that spirit, convinces a lot of Depins to choose Peak.
Now,
I guess we'll have to see where this goes. But DJ in the chat said the difference is massive. If you use Uber, you don't get any shares in the company, in quotations, tokens or parentheses. He said, you would you get your USD and make others rich. Depin is different. You earn a piece of the pie you can benefit from. I assume that's what he meant to say. Yeah, that's kind of neat. It is neat.
Peak Network and token will launch in 2024, very soon. And there's a link down below. Click the link. It'll take you here, and subscribe to receive all important launch-related updates directly to your inbox. Again, link down below. Check it out. And just going over the basics, the lifeblood of the economy of things.
Yeah, so we spend a lot of time on the Peak token, right? I mean, the most important thing is utility. Like, what is the real inner value of that token? What can people do with it?
Well, holders of the Peak token will have certain rights and abilities. The token can be used as follows: network operations, i.e. transaction fees, deploy smart contracts, and use Web3 bridges. Machine DeFi. Peak is used for liquidity mining, liquidity provision, and rewarding the community. Machine NFTs, meaning Peak is used to mint machine NFTs, allowing you to own a piece in the economy of things. Voting and governance, and much more.
That's the worst part of it, NFTs. But this is, I mean, honestly, it does sound kind of intriguing. I'm not going to lie.
And again, the more building on the network, the more valuable the network becomes. Being built on Peak right now, eLoop brings 100+ tokenized Teslas for car sharing on Peak.
Oh, shit. Called eLoop. They are building a decentralized network for, or like a decentralized car sharing service where people can invest into vehicles, in their case Teslas. Then they buy those Teslas generate revenue, and the revenue is being split between the people who invested into the Teslas. So what happens now, they democratize car sharing. Everyone now can invest in and earn a part of a car sharing fleet.
And by the way,
that's kind of like if you have a demo, right? Like actually you don't even need to purchase a demo for a Tesla. You can actually just link the app with your car and you'll earn as you drive for free. As far as I know, it's a little bit less, but I think it's pretty much just super simple. You just log in with the app and call it a day.
car sharing is just the beginning.
eLoop is expanding to do the same with charging stations, solar panels, or even something crazy like wind turbines.
We also have
need a wind
something
turbine.
I find interesting, Nadix. Nadix's 40,000 plus.
Oh, what the hell? He's talking about Nadix? Speaking of Nadix, that ass freaking conversion they did, 340,000. I got 10.9 tokens. What was that?
Cameras map the real world in real time on peak.
And another cool example is Natix network they're building.
That's kind of neat. I wasn't expecting Nadix to be a part of this too. DJ, what do you think about that, buddy?
Also on peak, which is
Weird.
a decentralized camera network. They built what they call the Internet of Cameras. Everyone can, while they drive, put their smartphone in the car and map the street in real time. There's a construction happening, an accident was happening, and so on. And for collecting that data, you're being rewarded. And those are some Depin use cases, but it goes into electric vehicle charging, neighbors being able to share their charging station with each other's, 5G hotspots, helium we know from the LoRaWAN, but they expand to 5G now, so communities can build telco networks where they share connectivity with each other. It's really, yeah, there's so many use cases.
Now there are so many other cool projects that
Andrew
are
Masad just said, I just realized this dude's in a closet.
building on peak we could get into. But again, today's video is just a jumping off point. There's a link down below in the video description. Click it. And actually just announced, this is breaking news, Peak has just integrated with Wormhole to unlock liquidity from 30 plus blockchains. So this is their first cross-chain bridge as they integrate with Wormhole, the leading blockchain interoperability protocol, meaning Peak now has a bridge in value and liquidity to BNB Chain, Polygon, Optimism, Aptos, Base, etc. Users of these networks will now be able to move their liquidity to Peak, use Depins in the Picosystem, and earn in the economy of things on Peak. So in conclusion, Peak is projected to be the home.
Look at this. So Tesla, Sony, Alphin, I don't know what that is, Jaguar. Isn't that Raspberry Pi logo? And then what's it called? Bosch. That's crazy. That's all the machines. They have enterprises and they have a bunch of stuff actually. I guess we'll have to see.
Of over 50%.
Oh, Solana's down here, multi-chains. Yeah.
Of the Depin sector at launch. Also, they're on track to have both users and machines from 100% of the countries on the planet at launch, and possibly be one of the top 10 most active blockchains.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. Even though this was a shill a little bit, or 100% a shill, not just a lottle, but like this Peak, I'm gonna personally look into it, just like DJ Mine says. He said Peak sounds interesting. I will look into it, especially going into the bull run. I mean, again, it's not about them actually showing this. Like, it does sound kind of intriguing. And again, I've once heard something from a wise man. Shout out to Altcoin Daily for that, by the way. Would you like to talk shit or would you like to make money? And I choose to make money. So I'm gonna look into it. That's just my opinion. All right, let's look at this. So Bitcoin price will crash hard. I don't know how much. This is kind of a clickbaity title. We're gonna see what happens with this, but again, are we gonna see a downturn with Bitcoin? Guys, that like button, please. Let's get to 100 likes. We have 7,654 people here. Stop being lazy.
Bitcoin's price is on extremely shaky grounds right now, and just because the price isn't dipping hard this week doesn't mean the price won't dip hard next week or maybe the week after. I've just seen some deeply disturbing information about Bitcoin's price, and I'm going to share with you in this video. Send this video to anybody who doesn't believe that Bitcoin is about to see a serious fall. Most people are not thinking about what I'm about to share with you in this video. And
you know what, Mr. DJ Mines, they did double the Natix token. Now I have 21.8. Look at them. Look at them getting bitched at on Twitter and now they gave us double the coins. So now I have 21.
The way, I wasn't going to make this video, but then I saw a crypto and finance expert whom I respect, whom the world respects. He's basically theorizing the same thing. So let's talk about this. Let's talk about Bitcoin's looming crash.
Do you guys think we're going to see a 30 in the 30,000s? I mean, like low 30s, not high 30s.
And at what prices I would be a buyer. Smash the like button and you let me know in the comments. Do you think Bitcoin's price falls below 40? Do you think it falls below 35 or 30? Or what
I'm guessing close to 30. That's just my guess.
do you think is going to happen?
But
Let's
I hope
get into
not.
it. Look at this chart.
But if it does,
I
I'm
need
a
you to
buy.
understand two things about this chart and about what we're talking about. Number one, this happens before the halving. You can see here this happens before April. The halving is right now projected to happen sometime mid-April. This happens before April. Number two, and so many people often overlook
Does it though? Sell before? Does it?
this, don't think about this, particularly new people.
I'd have to look at
this
previous.
doesn't all have to happen tomorrow. I mean, it's actually not very likely that this would happen tomorrow, except for a black swan. What is likely to happen is chop solidation, something like what I have on the screen here. So dip below 40, but we're back above 40. We're so back. Oh wait, we're not. Dip to 35. We're back at 40. We're about to break through, except we're not. We're at 30. Now we're a little below 30. And just when despair sets
Playing
in,
with your emotions.
you get those doom and gloomers popping up saying Bitcoin to 10K, except now it pops back up. You know, now the halving's on the horizon. We get that big halving pump. And by that time, Bitcoin's back. So again, this isn't exactly how it's going to happen. There are a million ways it could happen. But
I thought it stays upwards towards the halving and then dies off and then explodes.
I want to be clear, what we're talking about now happens before the halving and doesn't necessarily happen tomorrow or next week. And I do want to talk about the actual price targets I think are most likely and where I would be a buyer. So
you know what? Max Voltage made a good point. He said last halving had a black swan event prior to, and you're correct. That's true.
Let's get into it because let me show you this. This was the first beige flag that gave me cause for concern regarding Bitcoin's price. Real quick, my friends.
Nope, we're going to skip this because that's chill. Okay, there we go.
Let me show you this. This was the first beige flag that gave me cause for concern regarding Bitcoin's price. The fact that there's so much Bitcoin having hopium, a new study reveals 84% of investors are expecting new all-time highs after the halving. A market study...
Yeah, that's a good point. JJ Doc said, not going to listen to an actor on YouTube for price predictions. Yes, I agree. Do not, or please take this with a grain of salt, okay? Everybody on YouTube that tells you where the price is going to go has no fucking idea where the price is going to go, okay? So don't believe a damn thing people say, whether it's going to go up or down, okay? Like, it's going to go one way or the other, yes. Like, you can't be wrong there, right? But saying where it's exactly going to go, not one person on this planet knows.
Surveying nearly 10,000 cryptocurrency investors suggests that a majority amount of people are forecasting new all-time highs for Bitcoin following the halving, which is set to take place April 2024. This may not seem like a big deal to you, the fact that just everybody from around the world is bullish, because obviously I'm bullish.
And you know what, again, it's a sentiment in the market, right? When most people are bullish, it's typically the big guys are like, okay, this is a good point to dump on these guys, let the market come down, and then they're going to buy in again, right? That's kind of how they do it. Just like JP Morgan, Jamie Dimon, when he's like, you know, he talks shit about Bitcoin and then his company's just buying it up in the background. He does it to get the price down so they can purchase more of it. That's just how it goes.
You're probably bullish too, but most people, just historically speaking, from my recollection, are not usually bullish at this time. The conversation around the halving at this time is it's probably priced in. A lot of doubt. People are, is it priced in? There's just a lot of doubt about the halving. Everybody knows about it. It's probably priced in. Well, now the overall vast majority say, hey, all-time high is coming after. East Asia saying this, Southeast Asia saying this, Western Europe saying this, Eastern Europe, the most bearish out of everybody, but still a whopping 75% saying, you know, all-time highs after. MENA bullish, Latin bullish. Everybody just seems so damn bullish and so damn sure what this will mean for the price of Bitcoin. So that was from...
Like Warren Buffett says, right? Be greedy when people are fearful and be fearful when people are greedy. And that's kind of, you know, it's kind of similar points here.
From a narrative and sentiment point of view, let's take a look from a technical point of view, let's talk about cycle Fibonacci retraces.
Well, listen, if you guys aren't going to be like trading or selling out immediately, like none of this shit exists to you guys. Just ignore it, right? Just hold and wait, or hodl and wait, okay? You guys will be fine. Mr. 100A, appreciate the gifted membership. You're awesome, Mr. Alvidis. Congratulations.
You can see Fibonacci cycles tracked perfectly, cycle after cycle for Bitcoin. What does this mean? Well, just like other cycles, the Bitcoin mid-cycle top was made at the 0.618 Fibonacci retrace at about $48,000. The 0.61 point was reached here, dip, same as last cycle, same as last cycle, same as last cycle. This is the mid-cycle top out, and it usually happens at the 0.618 Fibonacci level. So, assuming you put some stock in this.
So, you know, it's what is it? They things often rhyme, right? Is that what they say? I don't know the actual term, but anyways, or DCA and wait, said Mr. Carl Co. Yes, just if you guys want to keep purchasing, just dollar cost average, $100 every week, or $10 every week, or whatever you can afford every week, and you'll even out at the end of the day.
What's next on the Fibonacci scale? How low is this dip going to go? Well, every mid top has then at least corrected to the orange 0.382, which is priced at $35,500. $35,500 every other cycle. Bitcoin has hit this point at least. So everything's right on track, and regardless of the claims that this time will be different because of ETFs, everything continues to rhyme. Bitcoin usually comes slightly below the 0.382 after the mid-cycle top. So low 30,000s still most likely in the upcoming months, February through March, before the price is able to continue. What do you think? And again, I wasn't going to say anything. The reason I'm making this video today is because a big player in the crypto space and the finance space is putting his reputation on the line and kind of coming out and saying the same thing. Bitcoin will crash hard, says this crypto VC. The price of the biggest cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, could drop as low as $25,000, says ARK Invest's ex-crypto lead. Talking about
how possible do you guys think that is? 25K? I'm gonna be honest, I'd be a buyer, 1,000%. There is no chance in hell that we're not gonna see a brand new all-time high in the next year. Like, there has to be. You know what I mean? Like, the amount of financial institutions that just came into this space is unreal with these ETFs.
Chris Brzezinski, partner at Placeholder
25K.
VC,
25K would be a fire sale.
Co-author of Crypto Assets book, formerly led Crypto ARK Invest. People know this guy, people like this guy, people respect this guy, so I want to share with you exactly what he's thinking. I do put stock in his thesis. I continue to think we go lower and consolidate. I continue to think we go lower than most people expect due to variables that are too many to explain in detail via Twitter, i.e. crypto market specific, macro, adoption, new product development. This is some of the stuff we're talking about in this video. As for the deniers out there, takes time for partiers to sober up. Saw lots of drunkenness over the last month. Time to get sober. In my opinion, Bitcoin goes to at least 30,000 to 36,000 before a local bottom, and wouldn't surprise me if we test the mid to high 20s before all of this is said and done. And then we can make an actual move towards previous all-time highs. The path to get there will be volatile. Expect fake outs. This will take months to play out. As always,
man, if we got into the 20s, could you imagine the panic that will set in from people in the ETFs?
Patience is your friend. If I am right, for the most part, other crypto names will drop more in percent terms than Bitcoin. Not sure I'll say more than that in the months ahead, as these calls are mostly a thankless task for someone not obsessed with clout. If I'm wrong, I don't care. I remain cycle long. Hey, before you get mad at me saying, hey, we're just getting started, Chris Brzezinski, I mostly agree. Called the cycle bottom in November 2022 and continue to believe the long-term trend remains robust. Have also seen a lot of crypto volatility over the last decade plus. Recently, I've specifically been discussing a local top and local low, not a cycle-wide top and low.
Carl Coates said, this reminds me of everyone saying 10K will happen or 16K will come again. And you know what? You're not wrong. You're not wrong. It reminds me of that too. Because that was like, What, like a year ago? Not even. People were saying that.
But do not ignore the fact that we just saw many of our first parabolas of the cycle, and now they're breaking. And macro looks precarious on a number of levels. New product innovations are close, but not quite there yet. Things still feel insular. Never said I would majority de-risk, more just counting my bullets and sharpening my blade. What do you think? So now we have multiple sources, not even saying below 40K is a sure thing. They're saying $35,000 is a sure thing, if not $30,000, if not
Nothing is a sure thing in crypto.
mid to high 20s. My question to you is, would you be able to handle this? Would you be able to handle another Bitcoin crash?
If we go down to 25, I'm going to buy another Bitcoin for sure.
If you stick with
Mark my words.
crypto over the next 2-3 months,
I will.
I think the next
that's
6-9
insane.
months will be very rewarding for you. At least that's my thesis.
Not gonna lie though, it's super hard when things pull back that hard to get back in, because you're just like you're super nervous to do it. But at the end of the day, I think you'll be fine.
Subscribe to the channel, join our team. We post one video every day, keeping you informed. I do want to give a shout out to Coin Vigilante, who sent us some watches. Check out the
All right, we're gonna get out of here because he's just showing some stuff. But anyways, all right, what do you guys want to talk about? Let's recap some stuff. Let's see what the price of Bitcoin is now. Looks like 42,739. Not too bad. Ethereum 2291. Just to kind of recap where prices are. Let's you know what? So let's check. Again, that whatever that is, that peak token or whatever is not out yet. So let's look at Honey. How's Hivemapper doing today? Hivemapper's up 1.8%, down to 16 cents though. Man, I got stuck in it at 19. Son of a bitch. I knew I shouldn't have listened to Steven Cicero. Financial advice from that guy is terrible. Just kidding. All right, let's see. What else do we got? What other Depin projects are there? Demo? Actually, we could just go into the category. I totally forgot. 46 cents Demo is looking like. If we go to CoinGecko, if you go to categories and you go down, you can find the decentralized, the physical infrastructure networks, Depin right here. Let's see. So we have Filecoin, Render, top of the list, Helium, which is HNT. Man, Helium just gives me such a bad taste in my mouth. Like, I don't want to get back into it. Like, I just can't. I don't know. I don't want to give them the time of the day. But I do think they're going to probably pop off with everything else in this Depin section. Except for Chia. What do you guys think about Chia? Chia took a real shit, didn't it? I don't know. I don't know what's going on with that. I'm shocked to see Sia Coin in this. What does Sia Coin do? Does anybody really know what it does? Is it a file storage thing? I assume. Let's see. Let's scroll down. We got Flux. Flux is in the Depin category. Why? Because of nodes? Chia failed, says Nismo Miner. Yeah. Big oof. Flux. Why is Flux here? Is it because of the nodes? I don't know though. I have no idea why. SHDW is there. What's that? Shadow token? What's Shadow token? I don't even know what this is. What is it? $1.09. How's the max chart look? Awful. I don't like projects that come out like this. Look at this. This is like the devs just take all the money out of the market. Like, they just dump on you guys. Like, thanks for buying my coin. Blah. I hate coins that come out like that. And there's no confidence in this chart. None. Zero. I hate that. I don't know. It just really irks me when that happens. How's Demo? Oh, max chart rather. I know these charts are ass, by the way, but see, like, this is a chart. Like, it's confidence. It's got confidence. It started low and it's building its way up slowly. This is confidence in its market. See, like, this project I would invest in. That's just outside looking in, window shopping. Like, this one looks okay without even doing any research on it. This one looks okay. Like, that's just my opinion when I look at these charts. I will always look at the max chart and just see which one has confidence behind it. You know what I mean? I don't know. That's just kind of what I do. Like, that's the first step. If it doesn't have any confidence, then I'm out. Octaspace in the Depin category. Look at that. I'm actually solo mining Octaspace right now. Again, another one down here. Confidence in the market. Okay. Starts here. Now it's up here. It's had tops and drop back down, but overall sentiment is up. Just makes sense. CCXD Flux is there mainly because of nodes at the moment. All the services they have running on their nodes all over the world. Gotcha. So what I know they're going for the proof of useful work stuff. Does that tie into Depin at all? I have no idea, to be honest. I really don't know enough about Depin to know that. Congrats, Automatic Beats. Easiest money you'll ever make. Installed my Auto PI last night. What's that? Are the demos available or waiting like Hivemapper? Andrew Masad, I don't know. I think they're waiting. I don't even know where you could purchase it, to be honest. I've never... You know what, Mr. Is this it? I think this is it. God, sorry for the flashbang. How do you buy? Where? I've never been to this site. I have no idea. Build. Nope. Don't want that. I want to purchase. Mr. DJ Mines, do you have a code? If you have a code, put it in the chat, man. That's fine. Open hardware. No. Where do you buy it? Maybe I'm just slow. I don't know. Get connected, maybe. Turn your car's data into an asset. All right. We're here. Is this it? So we buy it? No. Ah, here it is. There we go. Look at this. The Macaron. Is that how you say that? And then Auto Pi. So $300 and 99. Interesting. I don't know. I don't want anything plugged into my OBD, whatever it is, port on my car. It sketches me out, man. I don't know why. Like, I just feel like the thing's gonna fuck up my computer in my car. I don't know. But $100, I mean, whatever. Actually, you know what? Does it say? I feel like it's gonna bite me in the ass. $99. Back ordered. Estimated ship date 8 to 10 weeks. Okay, so you're waiting like 2 months, at least 2.5 months to get this thing. They're going on eBay for probably an absurd amount of money. I think $300 or so. But yeah, it's kind of like Hivemapper, dude. Hivemapper is the same thing. I do have a link to Hivemapper down in the description below. If you guys are interested, go check it out. Buy a dash cam. Let's see. You know what? Actually, I'm not gonna spread that. Actually, I'm not gonna say that. But all right, this Hivemapper, $300. Okay, purchase now. Right? It says hold on. I don't want it to dox me in any way, so let me just check something real quick. I didn't know if it threw out any of my info. Okay. Oh, this is the S. I don't want that one. Hold on. Buy it now. I want to see where the... All right, so it doesn't say anything, but it doesn't if you guys use code CCXD, you will get a 10% off, $30 off. But yeah, I don't know, where does it say the lead time on these? Where does it say lead time? I thought there was a thing that said lead time, like when it's projected. View full details. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Got it. Okay. Estimated delivery for new orders placed today, August. Oh my gosh. August. Why? That's so far away. That's crazy. Wow. But you know what? In their defense, like, I'm sure it's in stupid high demand right now. It's fully refundable, which is cool. Weird. Yeah, that's weird. That's really weird, actually. That's a long time, August. Holy shit. That's like 6 months. Like half a year. That's literally half a year. So, you know what? That makes me think, like, when I ordered my second one, I ordered it for, what was it, in January? Just the beginning of January. And I think it said May, which is obviously 5 months from when I ordered it. So, yeah, I couldn't remember if it was March or May. It's definitely May. If I'm looking at this, it's saying August. It's definitely May. That's crazy, but it's very cheap. Like, looking at this, these things are going for I think $2,000 on eBay right now. Okay, they're $300 units. So like, if you could sell yours on eBay and buy another one and then just wait 6 months, cool, whatever, hopefully the project still booms. But like these things, right, last week, let me see if I can figure out what I got. Hold on, I'm gonna make a video about this weekend, actually. What I got last week, I'm gonna do the miles versus like my gas and how much I got for honey. So I got about 780 something tokens. 780 tokens. What's the price? Let's see. I'll do the math, like, obviously with in the video and stuff, but all right, so let's do it. 780 tokens times, we'll just say 16, right, for now. That's $124, and I only used like less than a quarter of a tank of gas. Like, that's crazy. That's crazy. $124. And this thing costs $300. Like, what the hell? You get that back in like 2 drives, or not 2, you know what I mean? Like 2 weeks, 3 weeks tops. It's like, it's super worth it. I mean, at least in my opinion. I don't know where it's going to go in the future. Nobody does, but like, again, another somewhat confident chart. Like, yeah, it started a little high, but like, it really wasn't significant. It was 6 cents, went down to a cent, and then it just kind of struggled along, obviously, while they were developing during the bear market. And now it's just taking appreciation. It's got to Coinbase. Like, this thing is going to explode, or it already has exploded. I'm excited to see where it's going to go. Let's see, zoom out in the Hivemapper chart. Yeah, that's it right there. This is it. Maxed out, Mr. Nerd Beast. Yeah, see, it's the, like, this is a chart that I mean, this is like kind of sketchy for me, right? Like, when it was here, like, I was like, no, this thing's dead. But man, it literally took a 90-degree angle up. It just exploded. So I don't know, guys, you do what you want. You know, it doesn't matter to me. I don't give a shit if you guys buy them or not. But $300, I made 124 last week. Just doing normal shit, like going to Home Depot, driving to McDonald's with my kids, like normal stuff, like nothing crazy. The market basket or whatever. It's yeah, I don't know, nuts. Anyways, all right, guys, you're all fantastic. I love you all. You guys are going to be heading over to Miss Randy Hipper's stream if you guys just stay put, but it is Friday, so I do have to leave you with this. Hopefully you guys have a safe, happy Friday. Enjoy payday, and I'll catch you guys tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And until then, peace out.
I wanna hold on till I can't no more.
Have a happy and safe Friday, everybody. Hold and you'll be fine, or hodl and you'll be fine. Peace, peace.
You guys don't get to 100 likes. I'm going to show you my cleavage.